let's see what we got to do this time.
This one's all about unit rate and equal ratios. What do we have to remember our unit rate?
Well, one thing that I like to remember is that the word unit means one. So, when I'm trying to find a unit rate for something, I know that's going to be the rate for one of something. Some examples might be like miles per hour. How many miles can you drive in 1 hour?
Or I like to always use that when I go to the grocery store to figure out, should I buy the big box of diapers for my daughter or should I buy the smaller box? What's the price per diaper?
Yeah, that'd be a unit rate. Helps us save money, definitely important.
Exactly. It's one of those things that's can't get any more real life than that, right? The other thing we need to discuss is the equivalent ratios. Now, I remember us talking about equivalent ratios. First off, what's a ratio?
A ratio is a comparison of two quantities. Let's say that we wanted to mow our lawn and we needed to use a lawnmower to do that. I'm looking at the directions to see how to mix the oil and the gas. If I don't mix those correctly, then I'm going to blow up my lawnmower.
Like the bomb?
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. So let's say that in the directions for the lawnmower, it says to mix 1 part of oil with 4 parts of gasoline.
Okay, so in other words, for every 1 drop of oil, you need to put 4 drops of gas. That could take forever.
Yeah, that would take a long time. Or what I could do is use 1 quart of oil with 4 quarts of gas.
Okay, so I can change the label. So labels are, important. All right.
Correct.
Okay. Well, if you're going to do 1 part and 4, what happens if you had 2 quarts of oil?
Well, if I had 2 quarts of oil, then I would have to double the amount of gas as well.
All right, thanks for letting me know. Here's our problems the bomb gave us. You ready?
Yes.
If a car travels 240 miles in 4 hours, what is its unit rate?
Okay, so one thing that I want to think about is, am I trying to figure out how many miles the car can go in 1 hour, or am I trying to figure out how many hours it takes for the car to go 1 mile?
That would be silly to figure out, because cars can go a lot of miles. That would be really silly to figure out how long it takes to go 1 mile, because a car can travel a mile really fast.
Yeah, so let's try to figure out the number of miles per hour.
Well, I think you're going to need probably end up dividing, which would look something like this, 240 over 4.
When I put my labels on here, this gives me miles per hour, or in other words, how many miles can we drive in 1 hour?
And I want it to be 1 hour, like you said. So, what would you do?
Well, how can I get from 4 to 1? I would have to divide by 4. And so in order to keep that equivalent, I would have to do the same thing on top. Divide by 4 on top, 240 divided by 4. Let's work that out just to be sure. I think I already know, but I want to be sure, and my math teacher always told me to show my work on my paper. So 4 goes into 2 0 times, 4 goes into 24 6 times.
So the answer is 6?
Well, no, not exactly, because at the end of this 240, there's a decimal point that would move straight up, and that means there's an empty space right there. So I have to fill that with something. Well, 4 goes into 0, 0 times, so not 6, but 60.
All right, so we think the first answer is 60. All right, keep that off to the side. Our second question is, Betty uses 4 cups of juice and 6 cups of soda to make her fruit punch. I'm getting thirsty already. Write a proportion that could be used to see how much soda should be mixed with 10 cups of juice.
Alright, so the way I want to start this one is I want to start by writing a proportion, which you know is going to look like this. And I always put my labels over here so that I know what goes on top and bottom in this proportion.
Does it really matter?
Doesn't matter which goes on top and which goes on bottom, but you have to stay consistent from one side to the other.
Labels, gotcha.
Alright, so I'll just go ahead and put juice on top.
That means 4, 6. And the question says, how much soda should be mixed with 10 cups of juice. So there's my 10 cups of juice. Mr. Fishback, I know that you can't go from 4 to 10, at least not very easily.
Right, so one way that we can solve this one is by cross-multiplying.
Alright, so we're going to cross multiply, which means 6 times 10 will have to equal 4 times x, because cross products in a proportion are always equal. So we have 60 equals 4x.
Right, so if I know that 4x equals 60, to solve this and isolate that variable, I would have to divide by 4 because the x is being multiplied, and I always want to do the opposite.
So I'm going to divide by 4 on the left side too to keep everything simple. I know that 60 divided by 4 is 15. So I'm going to say that there's 15 cups of soda for every 10 cups of juice.
Sounds good.
Alright, so 2 is 15. Alright, let's hopefully the bomb doesn't explode when we put these answers in.
Alright.
Alright, I hope this one works.
Let's check it out. Alright.
Live to see another day.